Iran has not yet responded to Donald Trump's peace proposal, which he made at the beginning of the week and gave only 48 hours for a response. Now, in Washington, they are hinting that negotiations may resume next week if Tehran does respond. But something interesting happened behind the scenes. While everyone thinks that the negotiations are continuing with Pakistan as a mediator, Trump's team suddenly started a separate negotiation track with Qatar. The Prime Minister of Qatar unexpectedly rushed to Washington solely to meet with Vice President J.D. Vance on Friday morning. And right after that, he got on a plane and left Washington. People wondered for a long time why he even came, and it turned out it was to discuss what to do next about Iran, and the details will surprise you. My name is Pechiy. Let's discuss this topic together, but before we start, please subscribe to this channel, like this episode, and don't forget to leave your comment under this video. This really helps a lot in promoting the content on YouTube. I would be grateful to you for that, and please subscribe to my Telegram channel Pechiy News. The link to it is in the description of this video. So, American and Iranian media are optimistically reporting that as early as next week, representatives of the US and Iran may meet in the capital of Pakistan, Islamabad, to resume peace talks. Well, they say that the US and Iran are working with mediators on drafting a one-page memorandum with 14 points which will define the parameters of negotiations planned for 1 month and aimed at ending the war. But the problem is that the 48 hours that Trump gave to Iran have long since passed. This week, they were supposed to respond to his memorandum, but there was no response and Trump just dropped the subject and stopped commenting on it. Sources suggest Iran may be willing for the first time to discuss its nuclear program. Both sides are discussing the possibility of sending part of Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium abroad. Details about the duration of the suspension of uranium enrichment or the possible export of enriched uranium from the country remain unclear. The working document calls on Iran to ease its control over the Strait of Hormuz. The United States intends to lift the blockade of Iranian ports during these 30 days of negotiations. And if the negotiations are successful, the 1-month period may be extended by mutual agreement. But there is an even more telling sign that the United States is seeking new ways to achieve peace. While awaiting Iran's response to the draft agreement on ending the war, US Vice President J.D. Vance met with Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani on Friday. It's telling that the Prime Minister of Qatar traveled to Washington solely to meet with J.D. Vance, and immediately after this meeting, he returned to his homeland. And it's important to note that today is already Saturday evening after all, while US President Trump and Secretary of State Mark Rubio told journalists on Friday that they expected a response from Iran by the end of Friday. Quote from Rubio: "Let's see what their response will be. I hope this will start a serious negotiation process. I hope it will be a serious proposal. I really hope so." But there was no response. And now interesting details are coming to light. It turned out that a few weeks ago, the Qataris resumed their behind-the-scenes mediation efforts. The Qataris act as one of at least 3 unofficial channels of communication between the US and Iran. In particular, the Qataris use their connections with high-ranking generals of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps who are involved in Iran's decision-making during negotiations with the US. And it's important that the Qatari side still coordinates its efforts with Pakistani intermediaries. But there's also a bad sign in this story. Let me remind you, the Qataris participated in mediation during the negotiations between the US and Iran before the war in June 2025 and before the current conflict. The result was the resumption of the war in 2026. During the current war, Iran attacked Qatar again with missiles and drones. And according to American officials, Qatar shot down Iranian fighter jets and responded with its own strikes on Iranian targets. And here Axios provides some interesting information. As a regional source reported, some time ago the Qataris told the US that because of the Iranian attacks they would no longer act as mediators. The US put pressure on the Qataris to resume their mediation efforts. And according to sources, President Trump even raised this issue in a conversation with Emir Sheikh Tamim Al Thani. As a result, after the meeting between Vance and Al Thani today, the Qatari Foreign Ministry stated, quote, During the meeting, the Prime Minister emphasized the need for all parties to respond positively to the ongoing mediation efforts. Thus, this would pave the way to addressing the root causes of the crisis through peaceful means and dialogue and lead to a comprehensive agreement that would ensure lasting peace in the region. Therefore, it seems that a new chapter of negotiations between the United States and Iran awaits us. I'll pause here and immediately say to the Ukrainian-speaking audience of this YouTube channel that I have launched a new YouTube channel where every evening I present a daily summary exclusively in Ukrainian with a focus on Ukrainian topics. So if you prefer to listen to the news more in Ukrainian, I will leave a link in the description of this video to the new YouTube channel Pechiy and Pechiy. Subscribe and support the new YouTube channel. Also leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and don't forget to like the video. And if you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so by making a donation using the links and payment details in the description of this video or the QR code on your screens. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.